have a nice day. My name is Advocate Rubin. I'm a journalist and international lawyer, European citizen originally from France, today living in Israel. I would like to speak with you about the European situation, the political situation, from an international, an internal point of view, taking the opportunity of the French presidency and the summit, which will take place tomorrow and the day afterwards in June in Brussels of the European Council. Everybody, both our leaders and the population, the European families and the European population, have the feeling that things are changing. And if we look carefully, things are improving. We have an opportunity to build a better society, a society of trust, a society of faith. And we see that our leaders, whether the President of the European Commission, Mrs. von der Leyen, or the French President, Mr. Macron, or the President of the European Council, Mr. Charles Michel, all of them ask us to have a deeper look in our lives and have a lot of more hope, more strength, more spirit. We will start with the State of Union speech of the President of the European Commission for 2021. It's September last year. The title of the speech was "Strengthening the Soul of Europe," and Robert Schuman was quoted that people need an ideal, people need a soul, people need spirit. People need a conscience, they need meaning. And this meaning, thinking about meaning entails sometimes looking at ourselves, our lives, at our true purpose in life. And the speech of the President of the European Commission was very deep, very spiritual. She asked us to look at the history of Europe from a political, historical, economical, and spiritual point of view, and try to strengthen our spirit, to know that European will have to pass tests, and if we succeed, then our soul will shine. These are the words of the President of the European Commission. And these words are awaited by the young generation, but also by all of the European families. All of us, we need more strength. We need to be happy. We need to know what is true happiness. And we understand today that true happiness, true meaning, is spiritual. It's like connecting ourselves with the Creator, praying, learning the rules of mankind, of the universe, from a spiritual point of view. And this speech is very, very hopeful, strengthening the soul of Europe, meaning be stronger, having hope, knowing that pursuing only material goals like buying a new car or buying a new apartment, it's not our objective in life. It's like a mean to achieve the objective. And the objective is to connect to our soul, to connect to the spiritual that is inside of us, to connect to the Creator. And our leaders, our political leaders, are inviting us to, in this journey of faith, of hope, of spirit. And it's very good news. It's something a little bit new, but it's a continuation of a global trend, because 80% of people in the world, it's about 5.6 billion people, they have connection to faith, connection to prayer, connection to the Creator. And we, the Europeans, are part of this general trend. And as you see, people have faith, they are more quiet, they smile, they know their purpose in life. When they wake up in the morning, they know how to thank the Creator for all the blessings, for the health, the family, the sustenance, for education, for the comfort of having a refrigerator, a washing machine, to having a phone, to having a car. These 100 ago, this was not available to most of the families. Only the very, very rich people had a car. And today, every one of us, every family has a car, one car, two cars. So if we look at the reality in a pleasant way and in a positive way, we'll see that we have many reasons to be happy, many reasons of gratitude. And gratitude is probably the first step, the first message that we should take in our lives, because we have today an amount of wealth, whether it's material wealth or cultural wealth or spiritual wealth, which is unbelievable in the history. It's very, very high. Our level of life is today 70 times higher than it was 100 years ago, 120 years ago. So today, perhaps the European families are waiting for this spirit and this hope, knowing that all solutions, are in faith and in our connection with our soul, with the Creator. When we can give a few examples, we spoke about family. Perhaps before speaking about family, we'll speak about ourselves. The root of unhappiness, which hits about 30% of European population, which is about 220 million people, it's a very large number, and we should try to understand why so many people are unhappy. And the reason is because sometimes we see our deficiencies and compare ourselves to other people, and we think that other people are very successful in all the areas of life, and we have a problem, whether it's being not so bright, whether it's a problem that we don't have money. We could have also a handicap. We may have a problem with our spouse or with our children or with a child. And we see the life of the other people, and we think they don't have these kind of problems, and then we see our disadvantages, and it makes us unhappy. But faith and spirit and strengthening the soul of Europe, as we are invited by the President of the European Commission, is in fact the answer to this situation. If we accept that the Creator puts us in the best condition to fulfill our mission, then even though it seems a drawback, it seems difficult, it's for us the best thing. There is divine providence, and when we have this understanding that in order to fulfill our goal, our purpose in life, the Creator has for each of us established the best conditions, that it's very easy, even though it seems negative, it's very easy to overcome negative feelings and a negative analysis of our situation. What is seen as we see it in the leaders of the Bible. The King David was a small man, but he was very successful, and he defeated a giant, Goliath. Moses, he had a difficulty in speaking. He was, a leader is someone who speaks very nicely, who has a talent in explaining things, in making speech. And Moses has had a difficulty to speak, and despite this disadvantage, he was the leader of the Jewish people who let the people go out of Egypt. And he was an example for other political leaders, Martin Luther King and other leaders, when someone has to be strong against a negative political system. You have other examples, some of a leader of the Jewish thought. He's called the Maggid of Mezrich. He lived 200 years ago, and he was crippled. He has problems with his foot, and despite this handicap, he was the great leader of the Jewish people. He had a lot of success in spreading Jewish thought and Jewish consciousness. So we see that even though if we have like a rational analysis, a very technical analysis of our situation, it seems bad and it makes us unhappy. But if we look at our reality with glasses of faith, we'll see that it's the best conditions for us to succeed. Because we'll try to overcome our difficulty by praying, by learning about consciousness, mindfulness, by escaping always to the Creator and asking for His help. And even sometimes if we have a bad traits of character, like we are angry at people very easily, or we are a lazy person, we'll go to the Creator and ask for His help to overcome our difficulties, to overcome our bad passions, and we'll learn about that. And this is, in fact, our goal in life, to overcome these difficulties by praying, by connecting ourselves to the Creator, by being close to the Creator, by creating an intimate relationship with the Creator, and this is what it makes us happy. Also, if we learn to look at positive things in our lives and to look at what we have instead of what we don't have, then and especially the good things we do for ourselves, for our families, for the company which we are working, or the administration, and if we look at the good things in our life and our good deeds, then we'd have all the reasons to overcome our sadness and our unhappiness. So, and it can be applied also in our governance, meaning our leaders can use these summits, the interviews by the press, their influence to improve the faith of people, to improve the situation, to teach them how to be happy, how to have a purpose in life. A leader is not only a person who is helping technically, who is giving money, and it's also someone who leads, who gives meaning to the life of the citizens, of the families, of the European population. And it's the invitation of the president of the European Commission this year, Mrs. von der Leyen. We can see that also in many speeches of the French president, President Macron, who invites us also to build a new identity, to strengthen our identity, to strengthen our history, our moral values, to build also a community of interests, more than interests, of values, of brotherhood, and we'll see also we can see also these ideas in the political standpoint of Mr. Charles Michel, the president of the European Council, who says that in many of his speeches that we need to strengthen our values to build Europe together, to look at the spiritual dimension, which today is recognized as an essential element of our lives, whether in our family lives, but also on the diplomatic scene, in geopolitics. It's we see today that faith is it gives the person. Faith is not extremism. Faith is understanding. Is living for a purpose. Is being connected to a spirit, an inner dimension, which gives meaning to our lives. Is trying to improve ourselves all the time, and we can use all the benefits of faith also in the family life by respecting our spouse, by our wife, by strengthening our wife, by being faithful to our wife. We can use faith to educate our children, the European children, by letting the parents be example for their children, by praying for their success, by using education as a tool, as a positive tool to motivate the child, our children, and not to punish them. Today, education should be positive. We should strengthen and give willingness to the child. Show him his success. Even if he fails in something, build his hope. And these principles, whether family life with our wife, or the education with our children, can be used not only in our personal life, but also they can be applied afterwards in our governance, in our public life, in our policies. Regarding sustenance, when someone knows that the Creator is giving food and feeding all the creators of humanity, of the world, then we the human beings, we should be happy and trustful that in the same way that the Creator gives sustenance to animals, then He will give sustenance to the best creator of the world, which is the human being. And we should learn also that many times our difficulties in life regarding sustenance are motivated by spiritual roots, and learn what prevents the wealth and the abundance from coming to us. Sometimes we have to correct some, to check some things. For example, when someone speaks slander and someone speaks badly about someone else, then it stops a little bit abundance and sustenance. We should also learn about indebtedness, not taking debts, especially in business, in the business world. We've seen during the last century, every 15 years, every 30 years, there's a financial crisis. Many times it arises from over borrowing, like we are designing new technical or financial instruments, and we're increasing borrowing without knowing what are the revenues that we'll get after borrowing the money. And someone should know that we can be successful in business even with a small business and grow slowly. If we take huge loans, the bottom line very often is that we get the same profit because we have the cost of the loan. We have also a tendency to spend a lot of money that we got from the loan on expenditures which are not so useful. Advertising and hiring people which shouldn't be hired because we don't need them, and we should also here learn principle of trust in livelihood, which means knowing that our resources are set by the Creator, and what is decided for us will come to us. And we don't need to cheat. We don't need to accuse other people of depriving us for our sustenance. Our sustenance comes from the Creator. We can learn from the Bible all the examples that the people of Israel and other people got the sustenance from the Creator, and be confident. The trust in the Creator is the vessel for getting sustenance. And by praying to have this good trait of character, we build the principles, the spiritual principles of sustenance, meaning that the trust that Creator gives sustenance to all the creators of the world and also to man. In the same way the Creator gives life, He gives sustenance to us. And we should know that sometimes there are spiritual deficiencies which are preventing sustenance from coming to us. And we also should avoid getting loans when we don't see that against the loan there are assets in the amount of the loan or secured revenues. And so we see that here, whether in our family life, with our wife or with our children, or in our sustenance, in livelihood, They are principles of faith which teach us that would make us more happy. We saw also the principle of how to live a happier life. So these principles are explained in an international bestseller, which is also an international bestseller of governance, which is called The Universal Garden of Emunah. It's an incredible book. It has been sold at millions of copies, translated in more than 10 languages. It has been read by political leaders in the world, in Europe, in the United States, and probably in Africa also. And we invite our leaders, our political leaders, who have the opportunity to speak in Breslev, to share their view, to read this book, to learn the spiritual principles of faith, of trust in the Creator. To connect with our soul, to connect with our spirit, is what the new generation asks from us, and we could take this opportunity and also discuss between us what every leader understands. Each of us has a different point of view, a different approach, and by making the European people more happy, by eradicating sadness, which hits 30% of the European population, 200 million people, by putting an end to divorces. The rate of divorce in Europe is 50%. More half of the couples get divorced. So if we learn the principle of faith regarding marital life, it gives us the tools to have success. And divorce has a cost in terms of governance. It's bad for children. It makes them weak emotionally. It's bad for us as parents, because there's a social cost. It's bad for our career. It gives also less hope to our society. If someone who gets married has a chance to get divorced, if someone gets married, he knows he has 50% chance to get divorced. He will not get into marriage with the good spirit. So by learning these figures and applying the principle of faith, the spiritual principle of faith, will make good for the European people. And as political leaders, it's an invitation to use the right tools, to learn from this period that sometimes the technicality of the governance is not enough. We have to get into an inner dimension, strengthening the soul of Europe. I think that the speech of the President of the European Commission, it's an invitation to strengthen our soul, to do a soul searching, to know how to pass tests of our existence, to learn the principles of spirituality in our family lives, in our governance, and to bring success to ourselves and to the European people. Good luck.